with the DGCA orders which were given. It's something we'll be discussing with the board and then with DGCA. They send us the letter, we discuss with them. So that's. I'm not going into any of those details. I don't think that's. When it comes to the customer side, you know, we have let our customers down those 3 days, and we apologize. No, I'm coming back to that. And sorry.
It's almost until late. I remember reporting every day about the number of flights cancelled.
Yes, because what you
Not just 3 days.
what you reported were proactive cancellations which were taken. So what we have been doing is we've been rebuilding the network. We've reset the network at that point in time. There was a basis. Then we started to rebuild the basis to that time. What was the most important part is that customers could expect and was knowing that their flight was there. So especially those 3 days, they had to face, and again, cannot apologize enough for that, on those 3 days we've let them down. When on the 5th we were starting to reset our network, we took a deep cut for the days thereafter, and we started to rebuild. And by the 9th we were back to a stable operation. So could all customers travel between 5 and 9 according to their original scheme? No. But did we inform them on time? I'm sure you'll find 1 or 2 who weren't, but we tried everyone to inform on time, offer an alternative, and get them rebooked to another flight. And by the fact that at the end of December we were back to 3.7, 3.8 lakh customers on a daily basis, that we have done the refunds in a very smooth and efficient way, that we have done the car compensation, and that we have done the gesture of care for those days. Does it make up for the inconvenience the customers have? No, it doesn't. And we know there's a big responsibility on our shoulder to start rebuilding that. And we take that responsibility, and my 68,000 colleagues at IndiGo are fully committed to make that responsibility. But at the same time, we cannot let 3 days, and if you want to make it 7 days, define what IndiGo has built over 20 years. So it should not be defined by those, and I call it 3 days and you may call it 7, but it cannot be defined by those 3 days. We have to learn from it. We're on a journey to become one of the largest operators in the world, and an airline which matches the size and the potential and the opportunity of India. And airlines throughout the world, Southwest, Ryanair, Delta, all of them have gone through similar processes. And no one is proud of it, but everyone took learnings from it, and so do we. So what we need to do is incorporate all our learnings in our processes going forward. Make it more resilient, see how we can learn how we can take all the lessons from it. So the internal evaluations and the internal learnings are incredibly important, because that should help us to build that back. So if I look today back to our 3.7, 3.8 lakh customers, around Christmas we had close to 3.9. So the customers are back flying with us, and now we need to make sure that we update our sort of processes, system, structure, whatever we do, that by the time that we have 4,000 daily flights and no longer 2,200 daily flights, we are ready for that. And again, going to an experience like this is first and foremost bad for our customers, bad for my colleagues who had a lot to suffer at the airports and in the operations, and bad for the company as a total and our stakeholders and investors. But we're committed to build back. And the fact that we were even appreciated to be back so quick, I think speaks to the potential of the company. If I read somewhere that, you know, the underlying stuff of IndiGo was not good, no one would be able to come back in such a short time if your underlying processes, operation, structure would be dysfunctional. We have reset it to the earlier point, and we build it back. Does that close the chapter? No, it doesn't. So I'm happy with your question, because it gives me the opportunity to say it. There's a lot of work to be done for us, and all my colleagues and myself are fully committed to that. But we should at the same time face you with confidence. We're going to get back. And again, all my colleagues are there to do exactly that. And all these customers who are flying, and when I was today morning at Delhi Airport at 6:20 taking a full flight to Hyderabad, speaking actually to a couple of customers, say, hey, we're happy, we're here. And also that is a process. The first days after it happened, my colleagues were asked on the street, IndiGo is flying today. And now that question is gone. IndiGo is flying back, and we're back on time. We're back number 1 OTP. And our processes and foundations are exactly that. And therefore, this crisis has cost us in reputation, in customer, in everything. So we should not let it go waste. We will use it to come back better and stronger than we were before. And of course I look to other airlines in the world who have gone through it. Look what Southwest, I think it was 2 years ago. It took 2 weeks to come back. So we study Southwest, we study Delta very recently. And you know, for airlines of that size, which are like huge machineries, if the machinery stops, it stops. Airports are designed for flow, so if the flow stops, and that's not to blame the airport, but that's just the reality of what it is, the airport. So we had to go through this entire reboot process. So I have full confidence that we will be able to continue the trust of our customers. We've done it for 850 million in the past 9 years, and we're going to do it for 100 something million. I cannot disclose the number. We're going to do it for 100 something million also in this year, 2026.
On that note, thank you so much, everybody. And there are other people who want to ask.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.